Hello, I'm Robert and Allan. I'm with the Rhode Island CR Club. And I was also worked in the solar industry in Western New York. National Grid also operates Niagara Falls, Niagara Mohawk now. And we fought with them constantly about expanding renewables, and that was 25 years ago. So they can be given the credit for the cost of renewables today. But that's not what I'm here to talk about. I want you to repeat these words as you leave. No new rate hikes.
Yeah.
This ought to be the canary in the coal mine of a broken system. That somebody can come in, do harm to the public like this, and ask for this kind of a hike. Now, one thing I want to clarify. It does make your bill go up 23%. But this is a 50% increase in the cost of electricity. 50%. You're asking to increase their cost of electricity 50%. It only results in a 23% increase in the bills because they can't mark up the other part. So what did they do? They said, oh, I know how we'll write it up. We'll make our purchase agreement, which we can use, make it so that we can then come back and ask the Public Utilities Commission, being you, for our contractual, so render the gold to Caesar. So this is the way that this is set up. And Sierra Club is calling for a full investigation of this system. We see this as a regional problem. This is going on all over the country where corporations are using legal contracts and the power of their lobbyists to put themselves in a position to take advantage of the public will.
Yeah.
Now, during this investigation, we're calling for a moratorium on price hikes. Because that's what you do. That's what you do when something's wrong. And I think you can hear from the number of people that this adversely affects, that there's something wrong when the CEO goes out and brags about how this is a done deal, which means you guys to them.
Yeah, they say this is already done.
Yeah, they actually came and I was first alerted at the Environmental Rhode Island Council. And I said to them, I said, well, what about the PUC? And they said, oh, it's set. So, what we have in this country is a power failure. It's the failure of power to help people have a better life, have a better economy. And you are our stopgap. And we're asking you to consider this, not to grant this rate hike, not to spread it out over time or anything, but to find out what kind of broken system resulted in a 25% increase on people's utility bills, a 50% increase. I mean, I have a business. I couldn't even dream of raising my prices 50%. That I would lose all my customers. But they have a monopoly, and they have a system set up that they've written it in. But you can stop that, because I also read what the PUC is for.
Let's do that.
Well, the PUC is for protecting the public good, the public interest.
Yeah.
What happened? It's not when their lawyers have come up with these rate agreements that make it so that they can create these things which look suspiciously like the rolling blackouts of the Enron period. But I'm not saying that that's it, but I didn't go and investigate it. I mean, the gas prices are going down, but there's not enough gas, so the electric prices have to go up. Nobody's looking into it. Everybody's taking National Grid's word for it, and the fossil fuel industry's word for it. We need this to be investigated and to take the people's word for it, because they know how it feels to get that bill. And let's not forget,
Something's broken.
Yeah, something is broken. And let's not forget the businesses and the elderly, as it's been pointed out. One thing that has gone under the radar is elderly are targeted, and were targeted, for investment scams. This is a fact. My mother lost 45% of her retirement money during those scams. And when we went to AARP, they said, yeah, that happened to a lot of people. So now, you're gonna turn around and raise their electric bill? She's in a condo, she has electric heat. Not my choice of heat, but that's what they have in the condo. That's a big, big difference, and she doesn't have the window that she used to have. I also want to add that gas and more fossil fuels are not the solution. And if we were investing in things like, for example, Mayor Alza, newly elected Mayor-elect Alza said during his campaign, if we were investing in conservation plans, programs that were jobs programs in the city, and ones that were building up power for these neighborhoods, using the empty rooftops that are there to lower their cost of living, we would both have a jobs program and have an energy program that poor people can afford. This is a false argument that you can only have a renewable future with fossil fuels. Fossil fuels are driving global warming, which is costing us. If you don't care about the people, and you don't care about the people it's poisoning away, you don't care about the asthma, you don't care about all those things, think about the loss of the tax base. I live in Charlestown. That's basically what pays for our school, is the summer residences. Well, they're going back. Rhode Island, according to the Business Journal, is number 2 on the effects of global warming. Well, where's that money going to come from? Is National Grid kicking in? No. They are on track to make $2.5 billion this year. And they're the ones that can afford to tighten their belts.
That's right.
Yeah, tell them no.
Just tell them no.
Suck it up, cost of doing business.
That's right.
Yeah.
You know, the last thing I want to bring up here is the National Grid is also traded mostly on the London Exchange. It's also traded on Wall Street, but it has an interesting history. It's worth going back reading it. Originally, the British people were rate holders, were given shares. Well, you see how much share Rhode Islanders are getting?
Yeah.
No share. We're getting a share of paying for their CEO profits.
You get a share of the risk.
Yeah, we get a share of the risk, right? This is the new America, right? We socialize the risks and we privatize the profits.
Yep.
Well, I think when we investigate in looking at these formulas, we'll find that they have found ways to do that. And they're putting you in an awkward position, putting you in the middle of saying, well, this contract is correct, technically, legally. We have the lobbyists that can make our politicians up in the state houses' lives miserable until they agree. And they write it in what they call complex language. Have you heard that before? Derivatives, complex language. These are made to not be completely understood. So this is all the things that we need to be investigated. And in closing, I would like to say that if this ruins the business environment, the National Grid doesn't want to do business in Rhode Island, let's make it a public utility. Let's find out what it costs to buy it back. Let's take those profits and put it into wind power and our power here that we control, and use that to lower the cost of doing business in Rhode Island. Because we can't keep going the direction that we're going. They're saying they can't do any better. So they're basically saying that this is it, and they're holding PUC hostage, they're holding the state of Rhode Island hostage, and they're holding us all hostage to a fossil-free future, which will kill us. Literally.
Extortion.
It is a form of extortion, so I hope, you know, when you go home and look at your Christmas tree or your menorah or, you know, Kwanzaa celebration, that you'll think about what's wrong. What's wrong with coming here today being asked for increasing the average person's bill 23%, increasing their rate 50%, so that they can have another banner year of $2.5 billion.